In the late 16th century, when England was rising as a global power, Queen Elizabeth I set her sights on a new world. With dreams of wealth, power, and colonization, the English crown commissioned expeditions to explore and claim territory in North America. Among these ventures was a settlement that would become one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in American history, the Roanoke Colony. In 1587, a group of 117 English settlers arrived on Roanoke Island, just off the coast of what is now North Carolina. This wasn't the first attempt by England to colonize the area. A previous group in 1585 had abandoned the settlement due to hardships and poor relations with local tribes. But this new group was different. They came with families, children, and the hope of establishing a permanent colony. Among them was John White, an artist and mapmaker appointed governor of the expedition. His daughter, Eleanor Dare, was pregnant during the voyage and soon gave birth to a daughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas. Life in the colony was difficult from the beginning. They faced dwindling supplies, unfamiliar weather, and the need to rely on both their own resilience and the goodwill of nearby Native American tribes. After only a few months, John White made the difficult decision to return to England to gather supplies, leaving behind his daughter, granddaughter, and the other settlers. He expected to return within a few months, but fate intervened. When White arrived in England, he found the country on the brink of war with Spain. The Spanish Armada was threatening invasion, and Queen Elizabeth had ordered all ships to remain for national defense. White's return to Roanoke was delayed, not by weeks or months, but by 3 long years. In 1590, he finally made it back to Roanoke. But what he found stunned him. The colony was gone, completely. There were no settlers, no signs of struggle or violence, no remains, no graves, nothing. The homes and fort had been carefully dismantled, not destroyed. There was no smoke, no fire, no movement. The only clues were 2 carvings. One read, "Simply Zero," and the other, carved into a fence post, spelled out CROATOAN. Before he had left, White had made a plan with the colonists. If they were forced to leave the settlement, they should carve a message indicating their destination. If they left under duress, they should add a Maltese cross to the carving. There was no cross. This led White to believe the colonists had relocated voluntarily, possibly to CROATOAN Island, now known as Hatteras Island, home to the CROATOAN tribe who had been friendly to the English in the past. But before he could investigate, a fierce storm rolled in, damaging his ship and forcing him back to England. He never returned to Roanoke. He never saw his family again. The fate of the settlers became one of the great mysteries of colonial America, a question that still remains unanswered more than 400 years later. What happened to the Lost Colony? Many historians believe the most likely explanation is that the settlers integrated with the CROATOAN people, either out of necessity or by choice. Some later accounts from explorers and traders mention Native Americans with gray eyes or speaking English words, signs, perhaps, of cultural mixing. Still, no concrete evidence has ever confirmed this. Others suggest the colonists tried to sail or travel inland, possibly toward Chesapeake Bay, where they had initially planned to settle. If they did, they may have died of starvation, exposure, or been killed in conflict with local tribes. Another theory proposes that the Spanish, who had outposts in Florida and were hostile toward English expansion, may have found and destroyed the colony. But again, no wreckage, no bones, no definitive sign has ever been found. And then there are the more mysterious theories. Some believe the colonists were victims of disease, perhaps an unknown plague that wiped them out so completely they left no trace. Others think internal conflict, famine, or betrayal could have led to their collapse. And, of course, there are the supernatural explanations. Some have speculated that the colonists were taken by spirits or demons of the forest, that the land itself rejected them. Others go even further, suggesting the colony was caught in some kind of time slip or dimensional rift, vanishing from our history altogether. These may sound far-fetched, but in the absence of clear evidence, the imagination runs wild. What we do know is that for centuries, What happened to those men, women, and children? Did they live on through another culture? Did they perish? Were they forgotten? Or were they erased? Perhaps we'll never know. But one thing is certain, Roanoke didn't just vanish. It still calls to us, through stories, through legends, through silence. It echoes,